Hey, I haven't actually filmed a YouTube video for quite some time, so I am intending to make more. If you don't know who I am, my name is Amy Elizabeth Frith, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I have had this channel now for a couple of years, and I have uploaded a very small amount of videos. And I think I was a little overwhelmed in the beginning. I felt like a major shift of energy when I created my first video, and it was more of a good feeling than anything. But yeah, I've just been reluctant to make a lot, and I'm not sure why. Um, I'm ready now to start filming lots of them, and I'm really excited about the possibilities. I've been making a lot of amazing connections and doing a lot of networking with lots of people that are in film and music and in the arts and visual art. And I have already noticed from the small amount of YouTube videos that I have created, they do open doors tremendously. I've been blown away by the results already. So it's pretty powerful. I think film is just a really powerful art form. And recently I've been having a lot of visions about thinking about what painting is and why I love it so much. And I do really love painting. I will always do tons and tons of paintings for my whole life. But there are times when it's really challenging to carry all of the supplies, especially being me, because I like being really spontaneous and I like traveling around and moving and stuff and exploring, like, just totally improvisationally. And so sometimes it's difficult to organize, like, moving paintbrushes and paint with me. So I've been thinking about that, and there's something about the magic of having the discipline to gather lots of paints in an area. Um, I think a lot of people don't really think about how much work it takes to make a painting. For me, it's been a tremendous amount of work, especially just organizing my materials because I've moved so many times and I've traveled so many times and I've literally occupied and lived in so many incredible studios. I'm not even sure about how many, because there've been lots, but yeah, it's been a lot of work, and I was thinking that I could also look at film as art, and I was sort of seeing that in a sense, a film camera is almost like a paintbrush, and then you could say that the earth is almost like a canvas. And so I've really been thinking about that, and I've been having a multitude of visions that relate with that type of metaphor and analogy, and I'm excited about that. I have so many visions of what I would like to do with film when I travel internationally. I'd like to do a lot of just like spontaneous film, and then I'm quite certain that I'll be getting involved with more films that are like with working with other people, like collaborations. I've been making some amazing, like top quality filmmaking connections lately, both online as well as in real life. I was living in Vancouver for half of this year, and I lived right downtown. I've lived in the woods my whole life in very remote areas all across Canada, like in different mountain valleys and in the woods in the hills north of Toronto, and in the Kootenay Mountains, in the Monashee Mountains of BC, in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta and BC, and also all around Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. So I've been like really deep in the mountains, and I've always just visited the cities, and I've always loved to visit cities, but I used to have this idea that I wasn't a city person and that I was just a country person. I identified with that idea, which was somewhat limiting, right? it was good. I do love nature to death, and I love space, and I love the feeling of it. And I'll always spend a lot of time in nature, but what I learned was that I actually feel just as at home in the city, especially when I have a closet full of my clothing, which is really interesting. And I think when I start making big money, I won't even need my closet to have that feeling. Like I'll just be able to buy, clothes from my favorite designers like everywhere. But yeah, it does feel neat to have like your own room in a city. It's very different from just visiting a city. So I guess a lot of my perception of what cities felt like had a lot to do with the fact that I hadn't actually based myself there. So living right downtown in Yaletown in Vancouver, like right on the ocean, was incredible. It was a really good experience. There were some challenges. Sometimes I really missed the night sky. I did visit the island a lot because I really like the feeling on my skin. For some reason, I really feel it on my face when I come out into the rainforest and go to the beaches at night and like feel the darkness of the dark sky and look and gaze and see billions and trillions of stars for such a long distance in every direction. Like I really love that. I did miss that sometimes in the city. But that was really the only thing that I really missed. And what made up for it were the people. And I began to tell myself, I think here in the city, the people are kind of like the stars. And it did feel that way because I met some incredible people, and I also noticed that the city lights are so lovely, and I was really studying them with photography a lot, and I learned to appreciate that as sort of a replacement to what I'm used to seeing at night in the stars out here in the rainforest. So I'm back in the rainforest. I don't know if I'll be here for that long. I'm going to be here till I finish a few projects. Like my goal is to definitely finish a website. So I've recently bought the domain amyelizabethfrith.com, and I'm excited about that. I also bought futuristicbillionaire.com, and working on the first one, myname.com, and it's going to be just basically a site that unifies all of my creative projects. So we'll have lots of visual art and more. And then futuristicillionaire.com will focus primarily on music and dance projects. So yeah, I have a lot of things planned, a lot of collaborations planned that I'm very excited about. I also have a lot of new knowledge. I've been studying a lot of e-commerce and business. I didn't go to any festivals all summer. Instead, I just stayed here in the rainforest. Well, I was in the city for half the summer here in the rainforest. And I've just been a total hermit, and I've just been like really, really studying how to make money in alignment with your heart. I do believe that my paintings will sell for like immense prices. I've been raising my prices of my paintings, and I've been noticing since then I've been invited to a bunch of really nice galleries, which is mind-blowing because I think what I expected was that it would be necessary to approach galleries myself, but instead I've been fortunate to have like some of the best galleries approaching me. So I'm honored, and I feel like very, very fortunate, and I do feel that I've earned that. I have worked very hard to perfect my painting skills. You can see one of my paintings behind me. I've got mostly candlelight on right now, and a little dim light that's electric. And one of the reasons why I like these shiny colors is that they look so nice in candlelight. They look very beautiful in bright light and in candlelight, and very different at night from the way they look in the day. And I just think that's really nice. I think things should always look as nice as possible, really. Why not? Feels good. So yeah, I love that painting. That one is on my Saatchi page right now. It's called Nature Spirits, and it is currently on sale for $17,000. It has taken me years to make. The actual the piece is like made of wood, so it's not a canvas. It's all wood, and it's well built. My dad built it actually, and it's got little tiny lumps, and these lumps are stones, and they come from Grand Valley, Ontario. So the canvas was initially built there, and the stones are from the land where I grew up, so it has a lot of value to me. It's like a magical place. And then I've added a lot of layers out west. It was initially a green painting that I painted in Ontario, and it looked very simple. And then out here, when I was in the rain, I felt like adding lots of color because the rain can be very dark, and I like to see lots of color in my life. So when I'm not seeing the sunshine, I like to paint some color sometimes. I like dark paintings too. I might do a series of dark paintings in the near future. We'll see. I will someday. And yeah, so I've been learning a lot about business and a lot about how e-commerce is massive right now. There's so much money to be made here on the internet. So what I'm going to start out with right now is just letting you guys know that I am offering healing sessions through like Skype or FaceTime. And I can also just do it without the internet too. I can just like tell you when I'll do it, and we can both sit, and I can send you light and send you Iyashirei Jutsuho, which is it's Reiki, but it's an older form of Reiki, so it's an older lineage. And I was told by my Reiki teacher, who's kind of famous in Vancouver, his name is Yaz. He used to teach thousands of people at UBC how to do Reiki. His goal was to teach as many people as possible, and he's taught so many people. Randomly, I often bump into people in Vancouver that know Yaz and have trained with him. And so, yeah, he was intending to teach me Reiki. I met him at a meditation center out in the mountains at Merritt, the Vipassana Center. And a friend, one of his friends, introduced me to him because we were talking about Reiki, and I was saying, "Oh, I really want to learn Reiki." So, so he once he read my energy, he said, "Ah, you can't learn Reiki." He said, "You're one of the very few people on the planet who cannot do Reiki." And I was a little upset for a second. I was like, "Oh no, I really want to learn." It's like, I thought it would be so awesome. And he said, "Well, you know, your energy is very highly concentrated, and you're one of the oldest souls on the planet, so you are better off doing Iyashirei." The nickname is Iyashirei, and the full name of it is Iyashirei Jutsuho. It's more difficult, and so people that are more, I guess, ordinary. I don't. Nobody's ordinary. Most people would find it to be too difficult, and I would also not. I just wouldn't resonate with Reiki. It wouldn't be challenging enough. So this makes me understand a lot of things in my life more energetically, because I often notice things that are easy for other people are really difficult for me, like following, say right now I have this plan that was designed by someone else that I'm following sort of in order to make my website. Like I bought this site that was pre-planned out, and it's so difficult for me because I'm not just like, it's not like painting where it's just from scratch and like I'm in full control. So it's really difficult for me to follow orders and like follow structures that other people design, because I'm like just extremely self-directed. But then things that are like hard for people might be easy for me, like Iyashirei, right? And like painting's like super easy for me because it's deep enough. It's like it's something that I can put a lot of time and energy into and just feel really at home with and just go really deep with. So yeah, I like really deep things. I have a deep old soul, I guess. No big deal. So today I made a decision that I'm surprised to find. I decided that basically a lot of you guys are telling me that you want me to make prints with my artwork. And for years I've said no. I used to feel that prints were really impersonal, and I felt that my work has a lot to do with texture. Like, I think you can probably even tell right now that this piece is like super textured. It took so many years to make that piece, literally. There's a reason why the price is not cheap. But a lot of my friends are not in a position to buy a $17,000 painting, you know, or even a $7,000 painting, or even a $2,000 painting. A lot of people don't, especially in Canada, a lot of people don't understand um, why you would want to spend that much on a piece of art. But a lot of people do also. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so to my friends that tell me, Amy, please make prints, I'm finally listening, and I'm finally realizing that I think it is a good idea actually, and it will be something that will sell over the internet quite easily. And now that I'm studying like e-commerce, I kind of understand things a little bit more. I understand like how things work and how it is good to have something that's really easy to ship and that just comes in the mailbox and it's no big deal and people can just like pay a few dollars and you know they don't even have to think about it. So yeah, so I'm planning to start making gift cards and posters soon of my artwork of different styles. And I'm really excited about it. It feels really good to just like totally open up to a new way of thinking. Um, and yeah, a lot of things are happening. I was in a film, but it was just a test shoot. But it was like a very professional film in a very beautiful building with very rad people in Vancouver. And that was just a really neat experience. It was kind of my introduction to the film industry. And I really liked it. I liked it so much. I was even like out partying the night before. I've only gone out partying 2 or 3 times this year, like next to nothing. Been really focused on work, but and exercise, and yoga, but yeah, that's all connected. And I've really, I really enjoyed the fact that even though I went out partying like the night before and hadn't slept, and you know wasn't in the most balanced state, like everyone working on the film was like just stoked to have me there. They didn't care, you know. We just like really resonated with each other, and it was awesome. And the scene that I ended up acting in, which I didn't even know fully what was going to happen until it happened, we were just acting out a scene where we were kind of at this like chilled out party, so we could just like sit on the couches and stand up and talk, and like it was just so cool. And it was so cool to be around like people that are working on films that are clearly going somewhere and are going to be seen by lots of people. So I liked that energy. I'd been scouted before in the past for movies and for the film industry too, or for the music industry too. And I used to always say no to things in cities because although I've always loved visiting cities for like a day or for a week or two, I didn't, prior to this year, like the idea of staying put in a city and like sort of being committed to being there because it was an overwhelming energy for me coming from like the woods where you know you're used to seeing all the stars and having super clean water out of your tap that has no chemicals in it and stuff like that. It can be shocking to just like be in a city and with all the noise, but I learned to love it. I learned as long as I have my music, and especially since I'm starting to learn to make electronic music now, it's kind of really exciting to be in a city because I can play with all those noises and I can really make a lot happen with all of that energy, you know. There's just so much energy there. So what I learned was that in Vancouver I almost started to crave a larger city. And that was really surprising because once I got to know the city, I even walked across very large areas of the city. I learned that it's not a very large city. And so yeah, I started to crave like New York and LA and all the big European cities and every city, Singapore, lots of cities. So I do intend to start visiting lots of cities. One of the ways that I am intending to pay for like all my travels is selling my art. I think now that I'm going to start selling prints, I'll be selling a lot more. And I'd also like to start selling energy healing sessions. So if you're interested, you can pay me on PayPal. I can send you a link and we can do an energy session. I think I did mention a bit about this, but yeah, we can do it over Skype or we can do it over FaceTime or something like that. And I'm flexible, very flexible, so we can do that. And so far I've only done it a small amount of time over a distance, and then I've done it more in person with people. But what I've learned is that it's just as powerful to do it, you know, even if we're in different countries. It still works. And what else could I update you guys on? I've really been feeling like I naturally just like tap into the collective consciousness really easily. And I've really been feeling like a lot of people waking up, and I've been noticing that like my weird creative ideas are being listened to a lot. And maybe this had something to do with being in a city too, but I noticed when I was like in Yaletown in Vancouver, people were so friendly and so open-minded towards my ideas. Like I would just randomly walk along the waterfront and like talk to people about my visionary goals and dreams and ideas. And I would try to get them talking too, and sometimes they would. And often they would just say, please tell us more about you. We just want to listen. And so I just like talk to them and sort of practice like public speaking. And it was really fun and I loved it. And a lot of them would say, you're really interesting. Your story is really authentic and unusual. I would hear these words repeatedly from different people that didn't know each other. So it made me think, well, I think that's something to think about. I think I do have a lot of things to share with people, and they kept telling me, like people all over the city were telling me you should do a TED Talk. And so that is something that I would definitely love to do. I'll have to research, like I don't know how that happens, if you get invited always or if you can apply. But yeah, I'll look into that. I'd love to do all kinds of public speaking. If anyone ever has any ideas of like where I can do that, I'd be happy to do it as long as I can financially get to where I need to go and be paid like what I deserve. Then I'll do it. And happily, I'd happily do public speaking just about anywhere. And singing too. I'm always open to singing with people, and I was just thinking, I think I'm open to starting to dance again. I used to dance at the Shambhala Music Festival, and I miss it. I like dancing with bass music. I'm not sure if I want to dance with anything else, but I love like really loud, high caliber electronic bass music, and I love like certain kinds. You can kind of get a lot of uh, my ideas about what I like about music from my SoundCloud page, and yeah, I have so many ideas right now. I think I'm going to start making webinars, and I'm still studying the technicalities of like how to actually do that. And then I'm planning to do a YouTube video every day just to get myself warmed up to being in front of cameras and to get really used to it, and to just open more doors and get to really know people and help people to know me when they want to, and share as much positive energy and positive encouragement as I can. So one thing I've also noticed lately, I notice these patterns repeatedly quite often where I talk to a lot of different people that don't know each other, and they'll say the same thing. Like one of the things I've been hearing a lot, I'm telling people like about all the great connections I'm making and stuff, and people keep saying to me, oh, I wish I was you, or I wish I had a story like that. And I'm just like, no, you don't. You are me. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are all united on one level. We are the same consciousness, and I feel like it's really important to remember that when you admire something, some aspect of somebody else's life, it's ultimately something inside you that you're feeling. You know what I mean? So I think you're simply being inspired to realize a strength that you have that maybe you haven't even tapped into yet, and just put it into perspective and remember that. And remember, like, um, instead of being concerned about, like, um, wishing that you don't have something that you want or whatever, maybe just like focus on realizing what you do have and realizing your abilities to grow skills. Like, skills are like, growing a skill is like growing a garden. Like, you have to discipline yourself and you have to focus. So I guess the skill itself is like um, a seed, and then the more you water it, and I guess you water it with attention and discipline and focus. Like, for example, like learning to paint and draw for me meant saying no to a lot of other things, right? So it meant like not always socializing when everyone wanted me to, or when I was socializing, I'd bring along my pen and paper, and not always watching as much TV as everyone else did. But if I was watching TV, I'd bring my art supplies and draw along, and miss out on aspects of the films and stuff. And that was my decision. Like, I was working on the skills I wanted to build. So yeah, there's always, it always takes work to build a skill. But anyone can do anything they want if you set your mind to something and you really believe in yourself. The only person that can really limit you is yourself. So I've noticed myself in my life, when I've had experienced like really challenging times, it's sometimes tempting to blame um, an issue or a problem like on someone else, but ultimately that's just an excuse. Like, really, I am responsible for every single aspect of my life, and you're responsible for every single aspect of your life. And like, I think it's important to realize that there's always like an opportunity to change in a positive direction, and you've really just got to believe in yourself. You really got to remind yourself to like give yourself the attention that you need, and remember that you can create anything. And visualizing is like so powerful. And yeah, like, I can't believe the life I created in the city. Like, I went there with like no money, and I ended up living in one of the nicest condos in the city. I felt like I really deserved it. I spent like all the money I was making on it. And I actually made my money from nannying, and I just nannied like 3 hours a day, and I made really good money. And then I just make art and music all the time, and I didn't feel like selling my art and music in the city yet, because it's a bit overwhelming. Like, there are just so many avenues of where to do it, and honestly, I ended up moving into this condo. It's like probably one of the nicest condos in the city, and it was a beautiful experience. But I was told before moving in with the owner that I would be able to paint there, and then once I moved in and showed her pictures of my paintings and how big they are, she didn't really feel comfortable with the idea of me painting there, and that was pretty upsetting. But I chose to stay because it was such a beautiful place, and it was just like a nice, peaceful abode with one of the most epic views I've ever seen. And it was a good experience. I loved my neighbors. I had so many positive neighbors there, and like open-minded neighbors, and it was really good. I'll definitely spend more time in Yaletown. I love Yaletown a lot. I think it's really beautiful. I love being near the ocean. And what else was I gonna say? I actually filmed another film today, and I thought I had it uploaded on YouTube, so I deleted it. And then for some reason it didn't go up. So that's why I'm just doing another one because I promised myself I'd do at least one every day. And then, like, I was thinking I'll sing for just a bit, but actually I'm going to sing another. I'll record one more shorter video and sing that one. And so yeah. So basically I just wanted to remind you that you are magic, and I believe in every single human being. I believe in you, and I feel the collective shifting, and I can feel everyone like starting to really get what's going on a little bit more. And I see a lot of people like observing themselves more and like realizing like we have so much potential, you know? And then it seems like there's, I don't like to be judgmental, but I feel like I can tap into the fact that there's still people like kind of walking around like zombies, not really getting it and like not totally getting it. But I do have a feeling that everyone's starting to get a bit more at least. And like, um, hooray for those of us that are like really becoming super empowered, and it's really time for us to become super beings. And for me, that really has a lot to do with doing my very best um, to love like the human race and to love the earth and to love the stars and every single aspect of what that means. And um, yeah, I really have a lot of ideas of how to serve. Like I really want to serve my highest purpose, and I will always continue to paint, sing, and dance. But I also I know for a fact that I need to start making some bass music. I made my first bass sound with my MIDI controller the day before my um, new niece or nephew, sorry. I'm getting a bit tired, it's late. The day before my nephew was born in August, and that was profound for me because I basically told myself, okay, by the time he turns 1, I really want to make him a really rad song that he'll like, that's got some bass in it. And it won't be too crazy. It won't have to be too loud because he'll still be really young, right? But it'll have to be like a really good electronic song, and it's gonna probably be titled with his name, I guess, or something. And anyway, that's exciting. So, um, what else can I say? So yeah, keep your eyes open. I'm going to be uploading tons of stuff. I'm just going to like film whatever I feel in the moment. Probably a lot of singing, a lot of rapping, a lot of spoken word, poetry, and lots of painting, singing, and dancing. I just realized I don't have any video footage of any of my dancing, and I am assuming that some people out there do. I know some people out there do because at Shambhala I know I've just been in this like cloud of cameras flashing like crazy when I've been dancing on stage, and I know that I've talked to people who said, "Oh, Amy, like one of my friends has this video of you dancing," or I saw your picture on the website, and like I have never received any of those pictures because I was always such a really bad business person for a long time. I just like I just wasn't interested in business for years, and with no regrets, I was really working on the things that I knew that I wanted to work on before business, and I really wanted to work like internally really deep on just like my spirit and my yoga practice and my art there as a therapy practice, and like going really deep and understanding my art style before wanting to market it. And I've really done that and exactly as I wanted to, and I'm pretty stoked and excited. And I see how right now the whole earth is just like a blank canvas waiting for me, and I've been tapping into that on a new level. Like I can really feel how the earth is just is feeling so good right now. Like I feel my relationship with the earth just feels so heavenly right now. Like I've been going on lots of hikes, and I just feel so much new energy coming into my being. Like my DNA is just being upgraded tremendously and quickly, and so many realizations are coming through, and thank goodness for creativity, because like I just find when I'm creating I can really process all this new energy and like really feel it for what it is, and it feels amazing. I think we're so fortunate to be alive right now. And so I wish you all the best, and I hope that when you wake up in the morning, I hope that you're excited about what you're doing. And if you're not, I hope that you make a decision to make whatever changes you can in order to wake up and be excited about what you're doing and like love what you're doing, because really I feel right now the world needs people to stand up for what we feel in our hearts, you know. And I really strongly believe that we can create peace now more easily than we ever could. I really strongly believe that, and I keep having very, very strong visions about that, and I'm really excited about that. And yeah, so thank you so much for coming by, and keep coming by, and I'll have so much to share with you soon. Take care.